What's bigger than getting over 80 gigs of value with the Telkom September Big Deal? Get a free Me 20 gig SIM-only data package for only 499 Rand per month, and we'll make it even bigger with 1,500 all-network minutes, 3,000 Telkom to Telkom minutes, 2 gigs for WhatsApp, 10 gigs for music streaming, and 50 gigs for video streaming. Pop the SIM in your phone and you'll get all that for just 499 Rand per month. So go bigger than big with the Telkom September Big Deal. Call 10213, click telkom.co.za or go to any Telkom shop.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are at the VS Masters 2019 and first map going to WRG. A lot of people didn't expect that. Big surprise, girls. What say you?
Yeah, big comeback there for WRG. I mean, 12-3 down at the half and managed to bring it back. And unfortunately, Sinister 5 losing WRG's map pick. But we do have a map 2. Remember, this is a best-of-3 series. So the first team to 2 maps gets the W. And what a start we've had here at the first quarterfinal. And we're about to head now into map 2 of WRG versus Sinister 5.
Map 2 is Nuke. Map 2 is Nuke, and it's a very technical map, so I understand why Sinister 5 picked it. They had more prep time coming into this event, this massive event. We heard the prize pool over 1 million Rand. That's a lot of cash in your pocket, goals. It's a lot of cash in your pocket. And what do you expect coming out of Nuke? I'm
expecting something big from Sinister 5, because this is not something that you normally see from them. I mean, they definitely vetoed Mirage, which is one of, obviously, WRG's strongest maps, but one of their own as well. So I'm expecting something big, something spicy coming out of Sin 5. I expect a response to the first game, which unfortunately went the way for WRG, but anything can happen. It is Nuke.
I mean, we did see a lot of multi-kills coming out of Mistem, coming out of Mango, and Nuke, it lends itself a hand to that if you can get to those nitty-gritty spots, whether in vents, whether you're lows, whether you plant upper, whether you're C2 or C. If you're in that position, if the team's either given you or you're putting yourself in, it can be very advantageous in terms of with those X-Factor players. I mean, we are jumping straight into the map right now. Freeze time is underway. I'm interested to see what utility the T's pick up and interested to see what utility the CTs pick up. We see a kit in the smoke onto Daru, actually. Perhaps he'll be a bit laid back than normal as he needs to smoke defuse towards the end. We do see a smoke, Molotov, and flashbang on Sinister 5 stuff. Missed him with the smoke and Molly, 0 chance with the flashbang. They are headed towards outside. There's only one player defending outside in the form of Daru. He's got the smoke kit, so he can't really go down too early, and there's no opposition to face him, no opposition to slow down this outside breach. Control has been taken. It looks like they'll be heading down low as we do see Daru. He's the only player there. He's the only player with the kit and smoke, and he takes first contact. Daru is teaming up with RMP. Oh, the double D. Divo tried his best, but Mango closed it out.
I mean, the CTs heard the drop coming out, all 5 Sinister 5 players rushing towards downstairs there. The sound cues were given, and ultimately instant drops down through that vent, choosing to take that fight at the stairs, and ended up reigning supreme over the Sinister 5 Glock. So WRG take the pistol round.
I'm interested to see what the plan actually was. I mean, they bought a smoke, a molly, a flashbang. None of it was used. They got completely obliterated, but full-on eco, just some greater P250s and a flashbang and Mr. Divo. He does have the kit. They are headed outside. They are headed towards mouth, and they're not expecting at the CTs right now, but Mango, he's got the sewing machine. He's going to shoot them down. Daru and Mango coming into play right now, and this is tough. This is very tough for Sinister 5. No hope. This is eco round. This is quite normal to expect, and that should be 2 rounds on the board for WRG on the CT side, which is the favorite side on this map, goals.
Yeah, expected there, not much weaponry invested into for the side of Sin 5, and this is the reason why they're buying up their AK-47s. It's a full set of rifles now, and what do we see in response from WRG? Not much, bit of a greedy save here almost. I mean, they've got no rifles tools, so they're going to have to select their positioning. They're going to have to make sure that they're keeping those combats at close quarters.
This is the only map where I'm not against keeping your sewing machines, your scouts, your I wouldn't say better guns, but in terms of your position, you got a lot of mobility. The 4 players are actually going outside, 1 player holding outside. I've never seen this before. This is abnormal. Divo picking up 2 RMP with the trade. They're going to fall back. They don't like that fight anymore. They don't want it.
Throw everything I said out the window. They choose to take the fight to them long distance, but Daru gets another frag, but traded out by 0 chance. Now map control has been given, and WRG with this hyper-aggression on the CT side has costed them this round. I mean, it is still doable for RMP, but 3 rifles on the side of Sin 5, and they've got that ramp room control, and they're going to start taking over this bomb site. So RMP, a lot of work to do here. He opens the door at a beautiful timing, gets some damage done through the smoke, doesn't able to catch the bomber, and now Hacken closes the round, and Sin 5 respond with a round of their own.
I am not happy with that train of thought coming out from WRG. Those guns are meant for close quarter engagement. Those guns are made for nitty-gritty corners, like on top of shack, like close ramp, like downstairs, like secrets. You wouldn't want to take those guns outside and play against the AKs which are on top of silo. I mean, the gun advantage is on their side, the range advantage is on their side. So at least they got some sort of a buy up here, so it wasn't too bad looking at that in retrospect. But nice and slow and methodical, easy does it coming out of Sinister 5 right now. They're just looking to gain slow, methodical map control, making sure there's no outside push. You see Divo crawling along the right side. You dirty being! Taps out RMP and lowers. Did he ever, what gun did he have? I'm not too sure what gun
I think he had WP. He had the AWP. The AWP on the side of WRG has gone down, so whether they choose to collect that up or not really sure, but Divo creating a lot of space here for his team and forcing aggression out of WRG. You can see Daro positioning himself in the hut, exposing himself, but more aggression coming out of WRG here. They're just pushing all over the place. Will it work out for them? He gets one pick, but Zio with the trade, he gets double. Mango manages to push through the hut again, and now, oh my goodness, this aggression pays off.
I love the aggression coming out of WRG. They knew they were man down. They knew they had to make some sort of aggression. So the 2 pushed ramp, the 1 pushed door, 1 pushed lobby. It was perfect. That is how you coordinate an aggression. That is how you get back into a situation where you're at the disadvantage. It's even forced out a pause coming out of Sinister 5.
Yeah.
They shooketh goals. They shooketh.
They shooketh indeed. And that was such beautiful, because it's not just from one place. You get that opening pick or that double frag towards ramp room instantly. As a T, you pretty much knife out, run away, start attacking the ramp room. And again, aggressive positioning by Doro in that hut. Mango managing to chime in with the frag as well, and ultimately dismantles that late round ramp room push by Sin 5. So a great recovery round. We questioned the strategy in the round previous, but WRG claw back into it and convert their gun round, forcing Sinister 5 onto nothing but a couple of deagles and some util.
Yeah, and for me, the approach from Sinister 5, I don't disagree with what their train of thought was. Let's go ramp and let's just take that. But for me personally, I like to go where there's space. If Davo got a kill outside, go take that space you got the kill from. Yeah, they're going to probably reaggress from the other end, which they did. And they didn't really expect it, and it worked out quite well for WRG. But Sinister 5, they do have some smokes. They're going to smoke out mouth, potentially smoke out heaven. They got some flashbangs to use. Actually, I think it's the failed smoke there. Yep. But, they got pistols, they got body armor, so they can land some of these Juan Deegs that'll be quite perfect for them. Well,
it looks like a full outside breach here, but RMP gets the better of that smoke, able to get the first pick, gets all the information in the world, going to drop down to take the fight to Sinister 5. Risky, but can it reap reward? It does indeed. He gets another one. He should be aware that players are looking for him. Eventually, he's found out by Mistim, who picks up a rifle, and this is the worst man to give a rifle to. He could make huge work with it, but WRG still got quite a bit of control here with their CT setup. Mistim moving towards heaven now.
Even got the clock on that side. They got the clock. Mister's going to drop down, potentially causing a sound cue. Maybe that notifies Dory. He is expecting some sort of, but he's going to pick the wrong angle, man. Lovely teamwork coming out of Mistim and his team. He planting the bomb, and now it's down to a 3v3. Zio coming through lobby, and Mango does still have HUD control, but they are aware of this 1 and 7. They're aware of the one behind Solo, but they're not aware of that third player from Sinister 5. Potentially, Spaz wants to go up here, but it's very dodgy. I mean, nice.
Gets the frag, and this is going to force the retake to happen. Spaz comes up the ladder. He keeps Mistim busy. Mistim has to get towards the bomb. He gets 2. He's unable to get 3, and that's why I said it was a dangerous man to give away the M4 to. He almost converts the round, but no kitchen for WG. He will make it. He will make it. He will make it. He knows the numbers. A little bit of pressure here on the main stage, but gets the numbers correct indeed.
Punched in the right digits, cut the right wires, and that's 4 rounds on the board for WRG. Sinister 5, at the very least, they got the bomb down just to supplement their economy. They're able to buy up. They got the open 0 chance. He's got body armor, so that FAMA, so that M4, that his sewing machine might come into play, but he might just want to keep his distance with that AWP with the Krieg on Gatti. Interested to see how they got this round. Nice Molotov, some early round protocol coming out of WRG. Spaz, molling off the choke point, making sure they can't really rush it.
Things have slowed down here at the start of the round. You can see some large amount of respect given to both teams. No hyper aggression like we've seen in the previous rounds. This is first big buy on buy, and
Nice.
Daru gets aggressive and he gets a pick with that sewing machine. That's right in the middle of the default hold by Sin 5.
And that's exactly where you want to use a gun like this. This is what I wanted them to do in that previous round where they had 4 players pushing outside with a lot of sewing machine guns, but at least the MP9 comes into play there. Mango rotating back to support ramp. It is a 4v5, so I don't really want them to move too much around the map. Just keep those rotations and communications on lockdown. We do see Mistem crawling ever so slowly towards mouth. Mango holding that ladder. Some utility coming out from Sinister 5, and I do like this approach by them. They do have a good recovery mechanic coming out of them and a slow, methodical take. I mean, Mango's bit of pressure on him. He's going to have to fall back, and they have to be aware that they can go up heaven. Zero chance. Picking up RMP, and that's a lovely kill to even out the board. Zio coming on with one of his own. Mango.
Yeah, Zio with the flank here towards Secret.
It's a 4K.
It's a 4K for the IGL there, and we could see that flank coming into effect. Sinister 5 taking a bit long to move towards that heaven. Once Mango spots him, Zio knows, I can get behind all of them, and he lands every single shot. Beautiful stuff coming out of Zio there.
And that's exactly what you want to see coming out of WRG, you know, working off the momentum from that victory on Dust 2, that long lengthy comeback on that T side was quite phenomenal to watch. And you know, they're carrying on with the momentum on the side. You can see the communications on point, the util management's on point. I mean, just that blunder that one round, and they've already forgotten about it. So that shows some sort of experience coming out of the captains here, picking up that 4K. Some confidence coming into the team, and that's a deco, essentially. I mean, they got 3 Deagles, 2 low upgraded guns, but Divan's in such a nice spot, and I don't think they're aware of his position. It's just one Deagle shot, that's all it takes. Takes out Spaz, rotates back and missed him, even gets one of his own. And now this is
another one for Mistem.
A doubler!
And he spots another player. All the information is given, and the rest of them are going to rush through Shaq to try and punish off Daru. They managed to get him, hack him with the kill. And as we talk about the momentum that WRG have gained, Sinister 5 respond, and it's Mistem again, pulling that deal, getting 2 amazing shots there to rip the defenses in half. And ultimately, it's all up to Zio now. 4 left, he's done it before, but Zero Chance closes it out, and Sinister 5, what a round to respond. That's going to get them back into this game. I was about to bring up that it can slowly fall away from you if you're on the CT side and you know you start getting rounds, but Sin 5 have responded here. 2 rounds already, and economy's a bit of is under a bit of pressure on the side of WRG.
Indeed, and you know, winning that round also supplements Sinister 5's economy, because they were saving for this round and they just picked up guns anyway. Hack'em only in the P250, he's gonna pick up an AK. That's what I like to see there. Actually, there's a gun chilling in spawn, but whatever. But early round protocol is actually what lost WRG that round. They didn't really smoke off the necessary choke points that allow those Deagles to get those 1 Deags from, or just not overexposing yourself to those. And I like this setup here. Zip. I mean, Spaz is going to take first contact, and his team is going to swing off it and trade up. I'm taking some damage there from Lobby. I mean, these guns can do damage, the CZ and those Deagles, because eventually you have to get into the upper and lower sight, and getting there is a mission if you don't know how to do it properly in terms of smokes and utility.
Yeah, and slow default coming out of Sin 5. Used none of that util, and you see their pockets are really full. You know, 3 mollies, plenty flashes, nades, but none of them used so far. Nothing on the side of WRG. They've just bought these pistols, but in aggressive positions. So Sin 5 need to flush them out, need to get their positions, and finally take a pick on towards ramp now. Pressure being applied. All 4 players are pushed towards that area, so they are going to take that ramp control now. What is the response? It seems to be a double back. They're going to pull back to the lobby, but missed them quick on the trade. 4v2 scenario here. White Rabbit Gaming not too sure where Sinister 5 are going. Both players heading towards Secret, sticking together. I do like that, but Sin 5 have the bomb down in that top bomb side. Daibo going to pick off one, expects the other, as they should be, but RMP gets the better of him, but a lot of teammates waiting to trade. Sin 5, another one on the board here. 3 rounds on the terrorist side, so a good start from them on this T campaign.
It's definitely a good start for them on this T side campaign. You don't really need plus minus 5-6 rounds. I mean, the map has changed a lot since the first early iteration of nukes, so it's given a lot more viability for the terrorists to implement a lot more, you know, strategic usage of utility in terms of routing. A lot more options are available to them, and RMP puts himself in garage. I like the spot, but as long as they have someone holding low. A nice aggression from Zio. Now he probably needs to fall back out, and you know, he's done his job here. They're gonna have use. Here we go. Utility. Okay. Hack'em picks up Zio. Diver picking up another player, aggressing into lobby. the constant aggression only works sometimes, and you need to know when to switch it up. You need to know change the points of aggression, whether it's outside, in another top side. It's about to be a breach. We have one play in Shaq. There we go, Mango picking up that first kill. That gun isn't too quick on the trigger in terms of its fire rate, but he's still alive. Gets taken up. I missed him, and that's what happens when you start falling one by one, when your aggression isn't as coordinated as before.
It feels a little bit of disrespect coming out of WRG there, and you know you can't make that mistake here. You know, Sinister 5 will punish those sorts of errors, and I mean, like you said, Tools, they've already caught them off guard with that aggression. So Sin 5 definitely going to be expecting that sort of aggression. So Sin 5, beautiful default hold there, and just sticking, maneuvering so nicely in that lobby as a unit. And yeah, WRG forced back onto pistols. The economy is in shatters here, so 5-4 though. Can't expect much out of this round though. Only USPs, 1P250, 4-0, and Sin 5 in response. A great plan here. Keeping the distance with their rifles, moving towards that outside area. So WRG.
Ooh, I like that molly. Wonder where it lands. This is an eco round, so this should be business as usual for Sinister 5. Clean out those pistols, try not to lose any rifles, bank up that economy, grow it a little bit, and that's 5-all, that's draw, that's deuces.
Yep, Sin 5 level things up here, and again it heavily favors the terrorist side, so Sin 5 already happy with the start here.
Yeah, they should be more than happy. Should be more than happy with 5 rounds on the board, and you can see why they picked this map, and it's a very technical map, it's a very well thought out map in terms of how you actually approach it from the terrorist side. And from the CT's perspective, what you have to rely on a nuke is correct rotations, correct util usage, and communication. You get all those 3 sorted out. Obviously, you have to hit shots, but at this level, your shots are supposed to be landing. The hard part is actually getting to be in the right place at the right time, knowing where your enemy is, and making sure there's no blind spots.
I like this tactical pause. It seems like it's come out of the terrorist side. So despite winning 4 rounds in a row, they're just letting it sink into the minds of WRG. I like it, but it's a double-edged sword, Tools, because it could give extra time to the side of WRG to think, how are we going to adapt? How are we going to change this? And I must just point out that we have the dual AWP setup coming out. 2 AWPs on Zeo and RMP. Nothing in response for Sin 5. First time it's been brought out this game. Economies have been trading back and forth. So it's going to be interesting to see how they bring out these AWPs.
Yeah, personally, I'm not a big fan of the double AWP, especially in a map like Nuke. I mean, retakes could be very, very tough getting into the sites, especially if you're going to force the AWP out, but you have limited to no utility to work with.
Zero at all, both players with nothing.
Yeah, so they kind of have to rely on hitting the shots quite early. So, the smokes might negate them from that, the flashes will, but they have to persevere to get that entry with that AWP, because, for example, they allow them to go lows and they allow them to get into that site. Even with the man advantage, it's going to be tough knowing that the 2 players have no utility to work with. The remaining 3 have to use the utility for protocol early on in the round. We do see an open ramp, but I mean, just flashing them off this angle and letting their own AUG post, because the AUGs are quite strong, but I guess this approach isn't too bad. RMP outside of the AWP, Zeo at ramp with the AWP. Just patience out of Sinister 5.
Yep, waiting, forcing that error, but WRG in turn not giving them much to work with. Zeo for the first time playing very far back in that ramp room with that AWP, so a lot of pressure on him. Remember, he's got no utility to fall back on, but Sin 5 changing up their strategy here, gonna go back towards their default outside take, and these smokes usually cut off RMP, so he needs to try and land something. He also has no utility to work with, but Sin 5 gonna begin their hit. Double smokes, walled off.
Ooh, I like this. This seems like an outer fake, and they're gonna hit inner very soon. We do have Mango personal squeaky door. He has been found out, so this should trigger and activate the push here. Mouth is smoked out. There are 2 players running towards that A site in terms of rotations. The side has been turking. It's only Heaven that's left open now. Spaz picking himself a kill. Cutty drops down the vent. Zeo, does he rotate? Does he not? The AWPs are coming into play. It's a 2v5. The game dominated, destroyed.
Mango buying so much space there, despite the smoke and flash catching him off. He gets the molly down onto that door room, and it forces that top side entry, and the side of WRG just waiting at all the spots in the triangle, and eventually Dabo going to get one back for his team. But this is a 1v5, and it's a lot to ask for. Even though this player is fully capable, WRG are well positioned for it. Time is ticking, 10 seconds left. He needs to make a move, and Mango gets the round and back into the lead. WRG go and respond very beautifully. I mean, we spoke about the AWPs, and how they needed to force the play or force the pick, and that's exactly what they did. They got those picks at the beginning of that take. And
of course. And I like what they did there, Sinister 5, but the only thing is, I think they need to put more detail, more layers into that upper rush. They need to understand players need to run in pre-aiming certain spots like Spaz and just above hut. They need to have a molly landing in heaven or a smoke landing in heaven, because that rotation was a bit too quick from RMP. We do see some smokes coming outside, blind smokes just to get the players down, and this is the normal approach.
Ooh,
Mango, he's going to sit in the smoke. He threw his own smoke to counter it, which is beautiful. It negates their smoke, so they have to re-smoke or go back or run into orbs outside from RMP. I like the spot for Mango, but now how does Sinister 5 address this? How do they deconstruct this?
RMP needs to pull the fire there. Mango lands the first beautiful orb angle. He needs support. No, he does not. He gets off 3! Mango with the 4K!
Huge.
Can he get an ace? The other player is in lobby.
I love what Mango did then. That's so perfect. And a lot of players don't really notice what actually happened there. So the only reason why Mango got all those kills was because he had a teammate baiting and switching with them, putting pressure, making them forced to look at 2 angles more so than 1. And it was just easy picking for Mangoes. He sleeps in those kills. He's woke. He's here to play. He's sitting on 11 kills already. He top fragged in Dust 2 and he's looking to top frag here. Let me not get ahead of myself here. It's still 5-7 on the board, Sinister 5. Good 5 rounds, and I did say earlier, that's kind of what you needed as a terrorist side.
But considering the start, though, you definitely want something more. But I mean, there, Mango just shutting it down, and beautiful support there from his teammates. And he's able to get that 4K. It's still not easy, but he executes it beautifully. And now, same sort of slow start here. You can see Sin 5 generally just wait for some sort of aggression. Zio takes the first shot. Can he prevent this rush push? It's his numbers. He can definitely hear that he needs to fall back. They catch the rotator in the form of Spaz, but Zio unable to connect. And now he's done a lot of pressure spam through the garage, not connecting necessarily yet. Mistum gets caught off. This rotation is beautiful. Zero Chance is not holding the flank here, but gets into a position, and that's a 3v3 here. We're looking at a reset. So
and that is exactly why you need utility. Zio's molly there just helped the rotators come in and get those frags, and he stayed just alive long enough to allow the support to come in, the inventory to support him. And now Dory has pushed Squeaky Door.
Oh, he's
his timing, Diver spotted his barrel and knows exactly where he is. But what he doesn't know is there's a player in lobby. There's a player in hut. RMP will just swing out and trade if need be while he's landing lower side. So there's 2 bottom 2 up for each of all. So I think if Diver was able to get a kill here and survive, or get a kill and slow down the retake, it would be even better from his perspective.
Yeah, and as this bomb goes down, it's going to force that tools. It's going to force this rotator to go back into position, and now Davos is right in the middle of the CT defense. Zero Chance gets a frag. Daru gets
Your brain,
the better of him.
Daru! Your brain, he was aware that he was aware. The awareness is so high between these 2 teams. It's a 2v2 now. RMP, there's a kit on Daru, and he's going to rotate in and help RPM salvage this round. They had a disadvantage knowing that there's high ground from Flexi and knowing there's a player in double door. Zero Chance will potentially try bait and switch with them. The bomb is planted on the opposite side. Zero Chance is going to be tough for them to actually get it. Look where it's planted. It's not for him. He's going to have to get there. He's going to have to shoot that window. Guess where he positioned. He holds the bomb. And that's the round. WG take it. Man, that was so tough. That was so tight.
Miscommunication there. I mean, I think he thought he had that angle, but player holding the elevated position doesn't manage to get a frag, and it puts Zero Chance in a really tough position, unable to see that bomb from the window room. And WRG with another round, and it comes down to the wire, but they just keep on mounting these CT rounds, and Sin 5 still on 5 on their T side.
Personally, I feel bad for the diver goals. That was just so unfortunate
timing, but we have a top rush change of pace here. It seems like they're going to be brute forcing their way towards that. Lobby area, but it is cancelled out. Mistum's already downstairs. I mean, surely WRG are a little bit aware of this. Trigger discipline of an absolute champion here in Mistum, and he gets it off on Zio, and what a change of pace. Getting down the vent, completely unaware, and WRG caught off guard.
Oh, that's tough. That you jump from Flex, he ruined everything for Spaz there. They pretty much lost. He was in the right position. He had his body all fixed up nicely and just pulled the trigger there, destroying Zio. It was quite nice to see from him. patience, trigger discipline, all in one.
Yeah, and it's expected from him now, despite being a young player. You know, he's been overseas, he's played in the minors, you know, it's kind of expected at this point, but to get, you know, down that fast and to get behind enemy lines like this, it's really opened up the round, 4-5, and they respond with another round. And as WRG, you got to start to worry now. You got to start to think like, this is a lot of T-side rounds, so I hope that their T-side strat pool is deep enough to, you know, to get them through. They did let this map through, so they obviously have some experience with it. Mango going to try and save. Is he able to? He gets down, he gets taken out. Those 0 chance at the last second gets him. So now the economy of WRG must be low, and Sin 5 respond with the round and bring it closer and closer. It is the last round of the half, so they have to buy completely into it. But even with that said, it's only a couple of deagles and one rifle, but it is on the star player, it is on Mango, so he needs to try and make something happen for his team. But as I say that, missed him. With that crazy aggression,
That
you know...
was a BDP. That is confidence oozing out of him. I mean, he had the right spawn, he had the time, he understood probably throughout the iteration of the rounds that he can actually go for that shot.
He went for it last round, yeah.
This pop flash was everything out of 0 chance. Mr. is already on 2. Look how meticulous and patient he is. He doesn't overextend at any point in time. 0 chance is right there for trade. Zio, he's going to overextend. Gets deleted by 0 chance, and at least RMP is there for the trade. Now it's down to Mr.
Oh.
Dara pushed out, getting a kill, and that's exactly how I hit that
Whoa.
1-2 punch. RMP picking up Mr. And that's down to a 2v1. But at least RMP's picking up that AWP now, and the bomb's in quite a weird place, so you kind of have to go for it. You kind of have to use util. That shot was everything, and that miss. I mean, I wish he hit that scope there. He went for that quick scope, didn't really work out, and now it just becomes, I don't know, very tough for him. If he's able to try clutch out the strong, because his team does need it, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be something, it's not for sore out, to be honest, but this boost right here, this is the two kids. Their brains are ticking at the moment. They're continuously calculating what is the best play. Failed that jump, they haven't really practiced that. Don't blame them.
Nas trying to be flashy here on the main
Exactly.
stage, but didn't work out. But RMP under a lot of pressure. He needs to try tap the bomb, try bait someone else. He does spot the first player, but unable to land at the deagle, not doing him any justice at all. And as we close the first half here, WRG managed to put 8 on the board, but the dangerous number is Sinister 5-7. They've got 7 rounds here already on the T-Harp, so...
Yeah.
What a game, couldn't get tighter. I mean, the last game finished 16-14, and here we are neck and neck at halftime, 8-7, as WRG move over to the T side.
(8-7) is the scoreline, as tight as it gets. 2 smokes, 3 flashes on White Rabbit Gaming, and a smoke and a kill and missed him. Quite normal. I like to see the approach White Rabbit Gaming chooses to do. Put out the line smokes outside, perhaps the deeper ones, or they're actually going to go in front of the smokes there. Or behind, I thought they were going to go in front of the smokes, particularly doesn't have that third smoke for the front. RMP is holding off the rotations. The vent drop should come at any point in time now.
This is the same strategy we saw out of Sinister 5 on their T-half, but 2 players have lagged behind to try and get some sort of flank going, and now they're starting to pressure. 0 chance, he gets one on the swing. What a drive-by. Gets back into position, and now they're running into a meat grinder, but they get traded up. RMP and Mango get frags of their own, and now it's a 3v3. WRG do have the top bomb site now. The retake is going to commence, and players are pushing individually here. Flexi needs to be careful. He can't give away this frag, but the retake is happening. RMP gets a frag, but now it's all up to Hack him up to Flexi now. 1v2, he is aware of where both players are, and he's going to try and get aggressive, but no! Spaz gets the round, and a bit of a disconnected retake there from Sin 5, and WRG capitalized. Nice to take the pistol round.
But I liked exactly what WRG did. They did a line smoke start to go downstairs. They faked it. I'm not sure they faked it because they threw a counter smoke downstairs, but they doubled back to go outside. They pushed that smoke, then caught the player and mouth unaways. Even though 0 chance had that fadeaway pistol, the other players just weren't there in time to deal with those clocks swarming them, overwhelming them, which actually did happen there, even towards the end of that 2v1 was just too tough. But we do see a force buy coming out of them. Some upgraded pistols, a scout. I like to see this. This is one of the maps I'd favor to do a proper force buy-in. But it just depends how they, position themselves to actually counter this. We do see a garage smoke coming out. 0 chance does have vision on mouth. Doro picks up Mr. Mandenhut, and that's the top side done. One player still left in Shaq, gets taken out. Zio actually dies to him. Yeah. At least he survives, which is kind of nice to see. 4v4, but the retake is just going to be tough.
It is. They've got such weakened weaponry here, and you can just see that the T's are all over them. And I mean, as they were distracting the scout there, the breach just comes full force into that. But WRG keeping a couple of those MAC-10s, but also got some nice rifles there in the AK-47 and galleys. So WRG here slowing things down a bit, maintaining that lobby control, waiting for any sort of aggression.
I like this walk into ramp here. You know, they pushed upper the previous round, so they stacked it. So just changing up the point of attack here. A team kill coming out of Flexi over there into Diver. At least there's another kill. That's 2v3. This is normal. I mean, a 5v3, this is quite normal. It's an eco round. They should be able to close out a round like this. Let the MAC-10s farm up that money and let the rifles survive and just play from angles, play from distance. Bomb does go down, but yeah, it's tough. The score is going to be 11-7, and yeah, this is a CT map. We all understand and know that, but the tough part is it depends how your CT site is. If you know you have good economic management, nice, I like that. Good economic management, you understand the rotations, you put your AWP in the right place. Missed them, you're doing a lot of work here. Try to carry on, this is quite wild. Pick up the gun, run away.
Lots
I guess
of
he's buying next round, but I mean, if he picks up the smack 10 and he goes gets more kills, it's even better for him at the moment.
He could probably
get
drop
some
an
exits.
AWP, yeah.
Yeah, get some exits.
He's going to force the issue, but Garu on top of it. And
having none of it.
Expected round, I mean, beautiful stuff from Mr. Able to get a couple of frags there and pull some guns off of the side of WRG, but they're not going to be that phased. They're happy they converted the round, but again, expected to do so. Now we see the buy coming out of Sin 5 here, the first time they've been able to do so, and they've got the AWP on zero chance. So
now we get to see how WRG approach their T-side tactically with all the utility and all the guns they have. Do they understand how to use the outside smokes as a fake? Yes, we have seen it in a pistol round. But it's the upper take that really matters for me. If you're able to successfully complete an upper take in terms of flashes, your players knowing where to preempt, etc., that's where I get an indication of how well the team is in terms of their structure, the hard work they've put in. But the utility in terms of protocol has been put down by the CT team, so stalemate at the moment. You're going to have to wait all of that out. But Diver, you can see, he's itching to get in. He's itching to actually get in the faces of WRG.
Yep, and he's going to take a peek over in towards this lobby area. But WRG are waiting. They're being very, very patient here, waiting for some sort of aggression from Ramp, some sort of aggression from Hut, and Diver pulls out, and I think that's the right decision. He's going to force them. You know, you need to make the T's work for the round. You don't want to just make unnecessary pushes. But here it comes. Top breach is happening. Diver needs to fall back from the shuck, but they are getting destroyed. Sinister 5's hold is solid, and it's all up to Spaz. A lot of work to do, unable to get more than one single frag, and what a hold. I feel like WRG forced the issue, but Sin 5 ready and waiting.
Yeah, forcing the issue, and there's a lot of util they still had left, and it was pretty predictable in terms of they weren't pushing. There was no pressure ramp, there's no pressure outside. There's not really line smoke, so they have 3 players waiting. Those choke points are too narrow. If you can get through that checkpoint without the first player dying, yeah, that's your end. But they got munched, they got grinded, but at least they have a buy left, at least they got some money sitting on the bank.
And they're electing to leave that ready room all up to Zio to hold, and pretty sure they're going to just execute their smokes towards outside. Molly's flashes raining in, so the execute is given away. Zero chance smoked off beautifully. Get him out of his comfort zone there, and the player is going to have to be missed him on towards those stairs. No idea that he's in secret just yet. Quite vulnerable at this point.
I like how these smokes being placed quite correctly, but more importantly, I want to see what they do with them. Zero chance picking up the first kill there on Spaz. No one's trading him. At least Daru's there. Missed him. Gets to his own. And now it's down to a 2v3 in the form of Sinister 5. Zero. He's in low HP. Mango's stuck between a rock and a hard place here. And he's going to wait for to play off Zio. Maybe Zero play off him. But Hakim, very aware what's going on outside. He knows the bomb's down. He has his eyes on it, in fact. And the rest of his team is slowly but surely creeping towards it.
Yeah, but again, so low HP. Zio's got no room to work with, and it seems like he's the player that needs to actually collect the bomb that is occasionally getting spotted by Hakim, but now Mango able to cross.
Ooh, this is on Mango. Mango's pushing Hakim there. He's going to get that kill.
That's the cross given away, so now Zio can actually retrieve that bomb, but both players are still... Oh, Mango gets another. Zio is playing so beautifully off him, but the spray goes down. He was on low HP. Flexi able to save that round, but now pressure is put onto the T-side economy. I think that round came a bit too close for comfort considering the scenario, but Sinister 5 managed to collect it and put another round up on the board. 11-9 now for WRG, but Nothing
They're
in
going
the
to
bank.
force it up. I mean, Doru forced it up. Not too sure as to why. Maybe he has no money, he has to double save anyway. But I would have. I mean, if they got the bomb down that round, I would have elected them to actually force by that round to keep pressure on the CT economy. They're rushing ramp. They're giving no room to hack him. They're running gun P250. At least Mistum's there to help them trail up, but Mango's there too. That's a 2v3 at the moment.
Fast
That was too
rotations.
tight. That was tight.
The fast rotations have saved him here, and now the last player in Mango is going to try and get a kill. Extra $600 there in the bank, but again, expected, you know. But Sin 5 sticking together, brute forcing the rotations, retaking really, really good stuff from them. But now, can WRG buy? You said that last round Daru did force buy, and you see that leaves him with nothing in this round. Tools, I don't think that was wise, despite getting a kill.
And in hindsight, if he stays at the back and picks up a teamie's gun, that could be good. But I definitely prefer him having a rifle, you know, a gun with running at these AWPs and FAMASs and M4s with. But we do see them going towards ramp. Mistum's in quite a nice spot here. I don't think they'll see him. The molly on top of Silo, they just helped him get to that spot, aided him in a sense. But Hakim, did he do his early round protocol? He did the molly, but still has a smoke and flashbang. The smoke should go down, but maybe he'll play in front of it. True to his position, yeah, he will play in front of it. He's by himself. He's going to have to drop down after that first kill. Does pick up one. I like to see that. Always good for one in a spot like that, Hakim is. And now they're chasing him down, and he's going to just reposition. I like what they're doing here. Hakim gets another. They're feeding him right now. Doru at least trades it out. 2v4. They have to slow it down here. There's still a minute on the clock here. They have another player downstairs. Diver, nice off angle there. Wasn't able to actually be spotted by RMP. And that's the round. 11-11 deuces. Goals. Sinister 5 look like they have quite a resurgence. They're coming back into a game.
Yeah, Hakim playing that ramp right out of the textbook. Page 47. I mean, it's 101. He falls back, manages to, you know, reposition himself, and he still causes further delay. So that allows Diver to get a completely insane off angle and eventually punish the breach from WRG, and they've definitely had a resurgence here. Tools looking strong, and for the first time have evened out the odds, can take the lead now. And you know, if you're in this position that Sinister 5 are in, you're feeling cool, you feel like you've done most of the work now. You're on even footing with the T side, your bank's starting to look good, you've got options, you've got opportunities. So Sin 5 bringing it back here.
Definitely agree, and that's another save for WRG. Just upgraded armor, body armor at that, some P250s. One flashbang, so right now they might be sweating. They have the lead, they gave it away, but they have been trying, they have been working hard, but it's not working out, it's not paying off.
Slow start here for WRG.
Sinister 5 keeping their distance, all the spams coming through have taken damage, so you can see WRG have played this map quite a lot of times to understand where the spam spots are. Now they're going to all rotate outside after they put pressure. I like this. Take it slow, let the CTs expend all their utility, let them spend their bank. They have to reinvest in it next round, which is kind of nice to see. But they're not on the favorite side, and they've got pistols.
Yep, taking it slow here, and I'm pretty sure Sinister 5 are expecting this hit, so they're neatly tucked into the site here, so this is going to be an absolute brick wall for them to get through. You can see that they're expecting it to come. Mistum ready and waiting. There goes the molly. That's going to force the push, but beautiful flashbang. Diver gets one, Flexi with another, but unable to trade him out, and eventually Spaz going to connect, but the rotations are in full swing, and Spaz has all the work in the world to do here. Mistum playing patiently, waiting for him to cross. Going to see him, and connects the frag, and for the first time here, Sinister 5 take the lead, and it's starting to look like an uphill battle once again for WRG.
It seems like everything's falling into place for Sinister 5 at the moment. Zero chance, he's finally picking up some kills. He didn't have the best of the first map, so it's nice to see him really get back into this game, hitting some of those AWP shots. Missed him, business as usual for him. But now it's down to rugby gaming. The ball is in their court. They have to push at the moment. They need to get bomb plants, because that's one thing they've been lacking at the moment. That's probably why they've been saving so much. They aren't able to get bomb plants. They need to have a lurk. I'm a big fan of having a lurk on a map like Nuke. Someone to regurgitate information to the team from the other side of the map, to cut off rotations, the other side of the map, and that's very important for them. They haven't really seen that come out of them so far. They've just done pretty direct approaches towards the A side, direct approaches towards downstairs.
yeah, no confusion, like push towards Hackney and the ramp room. You know, they're either going there or they're not. And, you know, he's holding this entire half of the map all on his own. And similar can be said by outside with, you know, some of the aggressive angles that Sin 5 are getting into here, completely aware of the push. I mean, look at Mistim here again, just sitting here. He knows whether they're coming outside or not. He knows whether it's a fake. So it'll all be about whether or not they can clear this angle. And then they haven't seen him there before. So it's all up to him. He does get spotted. Did he get spotted?
Don't not spot him there. They didn't spot him at all. They don't know where he is, and he's going to potentially pick up a free kill here.
Yeah, Mistim playing the sparks to perfection. Oh, he manages to get one through, but gets a frag finally. Now they are aware of his position. Doro needs to flick back. He doesn't in time, and now the top side has been forfeited. But Trake's back and forth. Mistim comes through mouth and saves the top breach. Again, all up to Spaz in this lobby area, moving towards this top site, and Sin 5 going to start.
You can get the bomb and drop down. You can get the bomb and drop down. He didn't really spot him, and that's exactly what he did. At least he's going to get a bomb plant up here. He's going to drop a smoke here by single door. Plant behind the silo over here, and potentially, if there's enough time, you do see a player running towards him. If he can reposition, if he pushes back into that smoke, that's big, and he does so. He does just that, and it's going to favor the time they get there, but they have re-smokes. He has to reposition. I thought he was going to try and catch up a rotator at the very least here.
Yeah, Sin 5 clearing all the angles, and Spaz hasn't given his position away, but by process of elimination here, Sin 5 are slowly just constricting this hold from him, and they're really on the bomb, and he's going to just elect to save his AK-47. He got the bomb down for his team, not a bad decision. I mean, he had no until they knew where he was, so Spaz able to get some money in the bank here, but that puts a lot of pressure onto this round tools. They need to do something different. They need to change the pace. They need to do something. I feel like their outside control completely negated. Their ramp room control also completely negated, forcing them into top, and it's leaving them with little options.
I mean, they haven't really gone outside, right? They go outside, but they wrap into the upper side. They're favoring the upper side, which for me is the hardest side to get into. So I would like to see them do outside smokes, drop down, have a play on silo to actually negate where Mistim keeps going, is behind that box over there, like he's doing right now. Zero chance pushing in front of Red Grave. There we go, free kill for him. I like what he's doing here. This is the aggression I wanted to see out of him in the first map. The smokes potentially didn't even land. He even gets out scot-free. He didn't even look. Look, Mob, no hands. Missed him. Picks up another kill. Another one.
Great support coming through there and able to pick up those frags. Zero chance gets that entry frag and lands up throwing a beautiful Perla flash that enables Mistim to just quickly tap off heads, and Sinister 5 starting to look like a different team here, starting to get that momentum. And that's a very, very scary prospect here for WRG, considering the lead that they had at the start of this map.
Yeah, and you could see why Sinister 5 picked this map. I have said before, they look a lot more clinical on their CT side. They have a lot more set pieces they're activating in terms of Mistim and Zero Chance working off each other there. And I'm pretty sure there was a flashbang that helped Zero Chance escape from a place like this. And it's causing so much destruction in disarray in terms of the White Rabbit gaming camp there. There's smokes outside. I'm not too sure if they blocked it or it didn't land, or they threw the molly in front of Red, so it couldn't land. But Zero Chance was able to pick up a kill, and that potentially disrupted the whole idea, their whole plan coming into that round. And now at least they're able to buy again. At least Dari's having that gun that round supplemented the economy. And there's 4 rounds left on the board for White Rabbit Gaming to do something. But Sinister 5 looking too strong. They want to close this out and go to third map Inferno.
Yep, and it's looking like it's going that way, but here's that change of pace. They're actually committing for the first time to this outside breach. Wall of smokes has been landed. Zio ahead of the curve there, getting down a bit blind, but numbers are heard. Mistim. First diver gets a spam through the smoke, and now Mistim is behind, but he doesn't see Daru. He holds the flank, and this is the first chance WRG have actually had getting onto a bomb site. 3v3 scenario here, but the AWP is waiting.
This is where they need to just slow the play down. Molly left and right, or we go back up. The Molly the right hand side and the left hand side. Man, Zero Chance definitely wanted to get that smoke in earlier to allow his teammates to get through that choke point, but at least the bomb is down. RMP still has a smoke and a flashbang potentially to aid him. I like this off angle by Spaz. It's very dirty and potentially unexpected, especially Zero Chance with the AWP. You don't really want to preempt an angle like this, and he gets a kill, gets some of this scot-free. Diver picks up a kill in RMP, 2v2. The bomb is sticking faster and faster.
They need to tap it, pull out the terrorist side. Jadar is going to creep through the window. He does get spotted. Diver holds down. Spaz kills the diffuser now. Now all the pressure's on Diver. He does have a kid. He taps the bomb. Spaz going to try to pull it out. Oh, but Diver needs to commit. He needs to go for the frag. And WRG land around. And finally, the change of pace and the change of setup gives them a victory.
Exactly what they wanted. Exactly what they needed earlier on. But, you know, better late than never, I'd say. If they can just do that now and keep working with that pace, they don't even have to, go downstairs and follow the smokes. They can activate those smokes in a top breach. They can activate those smokes and push ramp. They have a lot more, ideas and avenues and options they can do now just because of that round. Sinister 5 will be wary of those outside smokes and potentially, preparing for that.
And you can see that's exactly what's happening here. They executed towards that outside. They've thrown the same smokes, but all of the players are lingering towards lobby. Hack'em taking some spams here, but this is going to be a burst. All 5 players on the side of WRG are about to breach into the side. They flash him off. He needs to fall back. Unable to get an entry frag this time around. Zero putting tons of pressure here with that Tech 9. This is what he's known for, but Hack'em gets the frag. Support's already here in the form of Mr. and it turns into an absolute disaster. And Sin 5 closed the round. That was beautiful, just in time, those rotations, but you could see the trust in the teammates, and Sin 5 smashed back with the round of their own, adjusted beautifully.
There was a breaking point in that round. As soon as it was Zio, I was just looking at his movements, how he really wanted to get towards that player, really wanted to kill that player. I mean, his movement was actually directed at him, and Hack'em pulling out that smoke there, Zio was just unable to capitalize on that, and I think that's when they should have actually stopped. As soon as that smoke goes down, you can't really commit to a play like that, because the rotations are definitely there, and without Zio being down, you can't really get into that bottom side. Missed him, a lovely spray down by him, and I mean, he's not going to miss those spray down. He's got those down to it. He's practiced spray control, and he destroyed them. But triple scout, this is a sign of desperation from WRG.
Yeah, I mean, to do that, I would understand on the CD side, but here on the T side, it's going to be incredibly difficult to brute force into any sort of sight if you've got 3 sniper rifles, but let's see what they can do with it. Mango spots the first player. That's the AWP on the outside area, but zero chance, forced to fall back now. Not many options available for him, and they forfeited this outside control, but it doesn't mean much. I mean, with this buy from WRG, it's going to be really tough to get into a sight, and there we go. Zero chance gets the first pick.
Oh, yeah, nice shot by Zero Chance there. And again, I like their approach about pushing the CTs further back into their zone, their area, under heaven, etc. It's just what they do with it afterwards. They don't have much utility but one smoke. I mean, Mango can potentially smoke out mouth, they can go up heaven, they can smoke out where he is. Zio, where did he flank from?
Zio buying some space here, getting them back into this round, and now they're going to breach towards that top area, and Mango is busy causing a big ruckus here underneath heaven. Daru gets the scout, and now Mango's got heaven. This is insane. He gets the frag. He's got the orb. This is insane.
There's one more
three. Gets picked off. Spaz returns with the frag. And somehow WRG have found their way into this round. Forget everything that we've seen. We know nothing. Should I call you Jon Snow?
Jon Snow. We know nothing but 3 scouts that shouldn't work. It should never actually work. But it did. That's why I love Counter-Strike. Defies the laws of normality and gravity.
But Hack'em still in a chair, gonna reposition all the way towards heaven. Remember, WRG did come through here, but Mango expecting it, and they still breathe. WRG are still in this map, and they managed to just pull around out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, they got 2 more match points to work with, and I want to see what that does to the economy of Sinister 5. Just have a look over there. Farmers coming out. You can see this pressure on that economy. They are able to buy, potentially the last buy. I think if they do lose this round, they won't have enough money to buy for the final round. So all the pressure, in a sense, is on them, but WRG are 2 rounds behind. So
and they're changing the pace here, tools.
Exactly, that's all. I thought he was going to go through that. Oh, I would have covered my eyes. Zio, I like the spot here. Hack'em might overextend, and that should have been Zio's kill. Hack'em takes him out. It was a double peak, so I understand why he lost that frag. He smoked out the choke point, and that's down to a 4v.
Daru with 2 openers. What did he do? He just walked into the top bomb site.
And
he's got complete control here. He's way too much space for his team, but the Molly is a bit of an off one, but it does prevent the CTs from moving towards that heaven area now. But WRG do have the bomb site. The bomb is down, and now it is ticking. How can they reposition? It's looking a bit messy. RMP. 2 players on Sinister 5 are here in heaven, and that Molly's going to do great work. He's completely negated from this round. He needs to wait.
He still has a small, tiny angle into upper. Hack'em pushing through squeaky door. You might catch Mango unawares. Mango, he turned that high sense, that young kid high sense life. And that's it. That's the round. 14-15. It is match point. Not only that, they have no money. They have nothing. Pots and pans and knives and forks. On the side of the street begging for spare change. Coin, please. Coin.
Daru going absolutely huge there, and Mango as well, making the previous round and this one work, and now Sinister 5 under a huge amount of pressure, and given their comeback in this game, they'll be a bit disappointed, but it's not over yet. Sinister 5 can do the same to them. Remember, they need one to win, WRG need one to stay in the game and take us to overtime.
Overtime indeed, and this is exactly what I wanted to see out of WRG quite earlier on. Someone up inside who spots a player like Zero Chance. Even though they missed the timing on it, they can catch the rotations when he does move. It doesn't seem like they're aware of their spot. So he's going to land down. Zero Chance is going to call that out at the very least. At the very least, we do some utility coming out. Majority of the attacking side is outside. Trigger discipline, Zero Chance. Oh my, Daru! He's playing at a level I've never seen, actually. His awareness is so high.
What a land hero, man. I can't believe this performance that's coming out of Daru, specifically on this map. He's just opening everything up. Even when they lose the first 2-3 frags, he just recovers so nicely and makes, takes the gap, makes the space for his team, and he's playing like an absolute gem here. First pick goes the way of WRG, and they are looking strong here to take us into overtime.
It looks like they want to split the upper side, even looking at the positioning that they're in.
This is bad. I think Sin 5 can hold this down, Tools.
It depends if they're coordinated at the same time. Hackam Bush's lobby. You might be right, girls. 2v3 at the moment.
And they pull it back.
Oh no, that's a
pull
disaster.
It back, and Sin 5 take the map and compose there in their top take, and ultimately choosing to go through Mouth there just wasn't the right decision, and ultimately Sin 5 coming back here and bringing an absolute pearl over comeback and ultimately taking us to a third map. Now the pressure is on WRG. We know Sin 5 looked strong, came back into that second half like absolute beauties, and now we are taking it to map 3 Inferno Tools.
Indeed, and WRG are playing at a level I didn't expect them to play at coming into this tournament. They look better in Dash 2, and in a sense they look sort of better in this map here. A lot of they haven't got the end pieces tied up into their game. I mean, still a young team, a young roster, so the next map will be interesting to see, girls.
Yeah, and let us break it down. Guys on the panel, let us know what you think there. What a cracker, man.
Fantastic. That's what I think. Can we just leave it at that? Awesome, that's a wrap. No, what a brilliant game. But as the gents mentioned, all of these people getting up, be careful, you're going to lose your seats, because we're coming back for game 3. Yep. This one's going all the way, baby.
Yeah, and how awesome is that as well, considering that we only have 4 matches that are going to be on stage here, considering we had two 16-14s in a row.
Need this.
We have got the closest games possible so far. These two teams are leaving it all out there on the stage, and that's exactly what we want at these live events.
It is really, and I mean, you see the teams coming back now, like Sin 5, you saw how sort of uncomposed really they were in the first half. Coming back in that second half, they just looked good. Like they just they came
for
back.
The most part.
For the most part, yes. But I mean, when I've been watching, watching Sin 5, you can see how they've struggled in the past to close games out. And it just looks like today, it's sort of that I was like, oh guys, you have to close this one out. And they did. They did it in the end.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Yes.
Well, actually, I want to go all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
Before this game even started, I was convinced WG were going to come in here, they were going to keep that momentum and roll through this one, take this as a 2-0. And there was this moment where you said something about Doru and Mango being nuclear.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to nuke. This is ordained in the stars, etc.
Yeah.
No, because that's not how things work here at the Telkom VS Gaming Masters. Magic happens.
Yeah, you can't script this stuff, that's for sure.
Not at all.
So we that first half was actually really intriguing, back and forth between both of the teams. There was 8-7 at halftime, so it was very hotly contested, but Sinister 5 definitely would have been the happier of the two teams with that scoreline, considering they were able to get 7 rounds on the T side. But I was still impressed by WRG's CT side. They were being very aggressive sporadically across the board. You could see them pushing ramp, pushing hut, Doru constantly being a menace. He didn't allow the Sinister 5 team to really settle, but Sinister 5 adjusted. We saw some good use of tactical pauses, and they realized, okay, listen, WRG are consistently being aggressive. They're trying to push around the map. Let's just sit back and post. Let's actually wait for them to push into our crosshair, find the frag, and react off of that. And that's exactly what we saw coming through. So it was a nice change up there from both those teams adjusting to one another.
That wasn't a crosser. That was a meat grinder.
Yeah, there was a few meat grinders on you.
I feel like every time I looked up, I just saw this
multi-kills.
Yeah, pretty much, just names dropping on the scoreboards.
Yeah.
It was tough to watch sometimes, and it felt very different from the game we saw before, the first match, where I almost feel like it was more like you would have these 2 entry frags, and that would be the setting the tone. There would be a slow, methodical pickoffs from there. These 2 aim duels were coming out, but this one often was just you and all your friends. Bye. Delete.
Yeah.
I like to see the momentum shift from Sinister 5 towards the end, where they actually went and they used their tac pause. And it's something that we haven't seen in the SA scene a lot, more so recently. But we've always spoken in the past how teams need to be able to use their tac pauses very efficiently, and that's a prime example of how Sinister 5 used it, right?
Yeah.
They used their tac pause. Things were said, we obviously don't know what, but it just, their game changed entirely. They started looking for the aggression. They started waiting for it, as you said, Hayes, posting, waiting for that aggression. And it just looked so good. They started looking so much more comfortable.
Yeah, the thing about tac pauses in South Africa is teams have always been very arrogant about it. It's like, no, we don't need a pause to figure out what's going wrong. We know what's going wrong, and we're just going to get straight back into the game, and we're going to beat them. What happens? They end up losing the match, and they haven't called a single pause. So I'm so happy, like you said, to actually see these teams using the tac pauses to that advantage. And actually, I saw a couple of words coming out from the MGO owner, Switch, when the pause was there. And I'm not sure how acquainted he is with CS, but he clearly understands the mental game very well, which is still a very important element of the game. So it was great to actually see him having a bit of input in such an important situation.
I know
I'd
that
actually love to go there, if I can interrupt you for just a second.
Yeah.
Because, as I mentioned in the previous panel, I had a conversation with the man before the series started. And it was actually one of the things he spoke to me about was just kind of managing the mental position of his players. And not necessarily being there to give them everything, but giving them the thing that they need most at that moment. And I think that's probably what you're talking to right now, is just being that voice of perhaps
Reason almost.
being somebody just calm things down.
In the past, I've actually had conversations with him, and I've asked him, what are you saying to the guys? What are you there for? And it's exactly that. It's that mental, bringing them back down, making sure that they're on ground level, making sure that they're focusing on the game, and that's so important to have as a coach or a sixth player, if you would. They are there to obviously give constructive input, and if that constructive input is there, we saw it in the first map where WRG just sort of changed when we saw the change of heart.
Like that they switched.
They switched. Hey. And I mean, it's great. It's great to see.
WRG are clearly happy to be here. You could see the ululation every time they went around, how happy they were. It's just fantastic to see that emotion coming through and how much it really means to the players to be here on the stage, how hard they've fought through the months, how many players they've had to overcome to actually get here. It's such a long journey. It's such a tough journey, which often gets overlooked when you just see them here playing live on the stage. But really, we need to take a second to actually understand and appreciate how hard these guys have had to work and how skilled they actually are to be here on the stage at Comic-Con, competing as the best in the country.
You know what I like about that as well? It almost shows that, today you're in the stands.
Yes.
Perhaps you're watching at home, but it doesn't necessarily mean that tomorrow you're not, or actually, you're not tomorrow, but
Later
we get what the innuendo,
but I do want to say as well, there's one last thing before we cut to a bit of a quick break that I wanted to ask from you two. In the first map, I asked you, Recoil, what is the magic number that WOG need to get to before Sin 5 gets scared? And you said if they hit 10, there's a problem. And there was a problem. And it was almost perfectly proven because the 14th round, or the 24th round, was actually won back by Sinister 5. But the damage was done. So my question about this tackle is to round this off. What's the magic number? How many losses in a row? How many rounds do you lose before, cool, guys, we're hitting that button?
I don't think there's a specific number of rounds that you have to lose before taking a tac pause. I think it's more around the momentum of the game because the tac pause almost always changes the momentum of the game. And in the case that we just saw now, that's exactly what it was.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to take a tac pause. We'll be back shortly.
Free you with free me. Data packages at Telkom eziza free calls, free WhatsApp, and free data for music and video streaming. Streaming turns your phone into a TV, bringing all the entertainment you love from movies, series, soapies, music, and sport right to your screen wherever you are. Feel free to be a streamist with free me. Available on Telkom prepaid and contract.
What's bigger than getting over 80 gigs of value with the Telkom September?
All right, guys. So our tac pause is through, and we're reset here because now it's time for us to talk about the second half. Because we focus a little bit on WOG. It almost sounded like they won this game. They didn't. Sin 5 managed to come back. To me, I want to say that I feel a lot of this is about Mistim as well.
Yeah.
Once again, you guys definitely know better than I do. The man seems like a ninja. The way he kind of prowls around the map, finding locations of his opponents.
The thing is, he's so good at identifying space. He knows where the gaps